You have finally decided this is the summer you take your family to a national park. You can already picture the photos, your kids staring up at something massive, mouths open, the kind of memory that becomes a Christmas card. But here's what you're not picturing. Burning an entire week of PTO and several $1,000s on a park your kids spend the whole time complaining is boring and too hot. And are we done yet? We're Baum Bros Adventures, 2 parents, 4 boys, and we have done something many families haven't. We've actually taken all 4 kids to 5 national parks. Yellowstone, Rocky Mountain, Badlands, Wind Cave, Grand Teton. And today, I'm ranking every single one of them, from worst to best, using 5 criteria that matter to real families, including one that nobody else talks about. I'm calling it the headache factor, because a park can be stunning and still ruin your vacation if you don't know what you're walking into. We made the mistake, so you don't have to. Let's break it down. Here's how this is gonna work. I'm ranking 5 national parks from worst to best, but not the way some travel magazine does it. I'm doing it through the lens of a dad of 4 boys on a real budget. We've paid for every entrance fee, every campsite, every gas station snack ourselves. Nobody sent us here. First up, Kid-Friendliness. Pretty simple. Will your 7-year-old have the time of his life? Or will he be asking for video games by 10 a.m.? Are the trails manageable? Are there junior ranger programs? And most importantly, what's the meltdown potential? Next up, Ruggedness. How much real adventure can your family actually have here? Higher means more trails, more variety, more chances to push your family's comfort zone. This is the stuff they'll remember when they're 30. Budget. The one that hits home for every family watching this. What's the real cost for a family of 6? Higher score means more affordable. Simple math. Seclusion. Can you actually escape the crowds, or is it a parking lot with better scenery? Higher means fewer people and more room to breathe. And finally, the headache factor. This is the one I need you to pay attention to. Some of these parks are logistical nightmares. Timed entry, limited tickets, reservations that sell out months in advance. We've messed it up so you don't have to. So higher is better. A 10 means we've already solved the headache for you. A 2 means we couldn't crack the code. Alright, 5 criteria, 5 parks. Now it's time to count them down. Badlands comes in at 31 out of 50. And look, I need to say this up front. We love Badlands. The sunrise here is one of the most beautiful things you will ever see. But when you're ranking parks for families with young kids, you have to be honest. And the honest truth is, Badlands is the hardest national park we've done as a family of 6. Here's what Badlands gets right. Budget is an 8. It's genuinely one of the most affordable parks in the system. Entrance fees are reasonable, and you can camp inside the park. The landscape is like another planet. Your kids will think they're on Mars. And for the right kind of family, older kids, or anyone who just wants to drive through stunning scenery, Badlands absolutely delivers. Kid-Friendliness gets a 5, and here's why. Almost no shade. On a July afternoon, the Badlands are an oven. The hikes are exposed. There's only one place with air conditioning to retreat to. For a 7-year-old, an hour on a Badlands trail feels like 3. Seclusion is a 6. It's not shoulder to shoulder, but the most stunning viewpoints are right off the road. Here's the headache factor moment. Badlands is deceptively big, and the there and back problem is real. You drive in, you drive through, you drive out. And if you're staying outside the park, that's hours in the car on top of the hiking. With 4 boys, in the heat, the simple swap is to camp inside the park if you can, or visit in late September when temperatures drop. I would probably not attempt Badlands in July with younger kids, unless you have a detailed plan for shade and water breaks every 45 minutes. Badlands is not a bad park. It's a park that rewards the right timing and the right expectations. If you have older kids, go at sunrise, camp inside. You'll love it. But for families with young children looking for a first national park experience, maybe start somewhere else on this list. Speaking of starting somewhere else, what if I told you one of the most unique cave systems in America is only 90 minutes from Badlands, and almost nobody knows it exists?
We are surrounded by boxwork in this room now.
Wind Cave comes in at 32 out of 50, just 1 point ahead of Badlands. And I know what you're thinking. Badlands looks like Mars, and Wind Cave is underground. How does a cave beat one of the most photogenic parks in the country? The answer is actually pretty simple. Your kids will remember Wind Cave, like genuinely remember it. Here's what Wind Cave gets right. Kid-Friendliness is a 7, because walking through a cave is an experience most kids have never had. It's cool underground, which matters when you've been baking on a Black Hills road trip. The rangers are excellent with the kids, and boxwork formation looks like something from a fantasy movie. Seclusion earns an 8 because Wind Cave is one of the least visited national parks in the system. You're not fighting crowds, you're not sharing a viewpoint with a tour bus. Budget is a 7, entrance to the park itself is free, and the cave tours are reasonable compared to what you'd pay at a commercial cave. Ruggedness gets a 5. Not because the cave is physically hard, but because it's a guided tour. You're on their schedule. If your kid needs to use the bathroom or has a meltdown mid-tour, you don't have a lot of options. And above ground, Wind Cave is fine. It's pretty prairie. Wildlife is great if you get lucky. But compared to what's coming later on this list, the above ground experience doesn't quite compete. Here's the headache factor, and it comes in 2 parts. Part 1, the elevator. The cave tour starts with an elevator ride down into the earth, and that elevator has a reputation for being, let's call it temperamental. When it goes down, and it does go down, you are not taking a cave tour that day. Full stop. No backup plan. We got lucky, but not every family does. Part 2, walk-up tickets. Even if you buy online ahead of time, which you should, there's a limited number of walk-up spots still available, and during peak summer months those vanish fast. The simple swap is to book your tickets online the moment your dates are locked in, and have a backup activity planned for that day, just in case the elevator decides it's taking the afternoon off. Wind Cave is the sleeper hit of the Black Hills. It's not going to dominate your Instagram feed the way Badlands does, but your kids will talk about it longer. And for a family road trip, that matters more than a photo. We loved it. We just love the next 3 more. Grand Teton comes in at 35 out of 50, 3 points ahead of Wind Cave. And I need to be completely upfront with you, we only spent 1 day here. 1 day. So take this ranking with that in mind. But even in 1 day, Grand Teton made an impression. The kind of impression where you're already planning the return trip before you've even left the park. Here's what Grand Teton absolutely nails. Kid-Friendliness is an 8, and that might surprise you. These are serious mountains. But the Jenny Lake boat ride is the kind of thing your kids will talk about for years. You take a shuttle boat across crystal clear water with the Tetons reflecting off the surface, and then you hike to Hidden Falls. It's an adventure that feels big without being punishing. Wildlife viewing here is incredible. You might see more in 1 day at Grand Teton than some families see in a week at other parks. Moose, elk, the whole show. Seclusion earns a 7. Grand Teton gets a fraction of Yellowstone crowds, and the park is spread out enough that you can find your own space. You're not fighting for a parking spot at every single pullout. And let's be honest, the Teton Range is one of the most dramatic skylines in America. Your photos here don't look real. They look like a screensaver. Budget is a 5, and it's not the park's fault. It's Jackson Hole. Lodging near Grand Teton is expensive. Restaurants are expensive. Everything is expensive. If you're a family of 6 on a budget, you need to plan ahead for this one. Ruggedness gets an 8 because, make no mistake, these are real mountains. The hikes can get steep fast, and the altitude is no joke if you're coming from sea level. It's manageable with kids, but it's not a leisurely boardwalk stroll. Here's the headache factor for Grand Teton, and it's one that honestly frustrates me most, because it was self-inflicted. We only gave ourselves less than a day, and if you're doing a Yellowstone Grand Teton combo trip, which a lot of families do, Grand Teton often gets treated as the warm-up act. Yellowstone gets 4 days, Grand Teton gets a drive-through, and this is a mistake. The simple swap is to give Grand Teton at least 2 full days, minimum. You need 1 day for Jenny Lake and the main viewpoints, and a 2nd day for Mormon Row, the quieter trails, and actually slowing down. Grand Teton at number 3, and honestly, it might deserve to be higher, but I can't in good conscience rank it above the next 2 parks based on a 1-day experience. If you've done Grand Teton properly, tell me in the comments where it belongs on your list, because my gut says this park has a lot more to give. Speaking of that park that gave us everything, the next one on this list involved a bull moose, a 7-year-old, and a campsite we will never forget. Rocky Mountain National Park comes in at 38 out of 50. And if you've been watching these scores climb, you can see we've hit a new tier. If you could design a park in a lab to be perfect for families with young kids, Rocky Mountain is exactly what you would build. And here's the thing, it's almost perfect. Almost. Let's start with what makes Rocky Mountain National Park the best family park outside of Yellowstone. Kid-Friendliness is a 9. The Bear Lake Corridor has paved, flat trails a 4-year-old can handle. The payoff to effort ratio is off the charts. Your 7-year-old walks half a mile and gets a view most adults never see. Ruggedness gets a 9, not just because of the hiking, but because of something no other park on this list has. Trail Ridge Road. You drive your minivan to 12,000 feet. Your kids watch the world drop away beneath them. It's an adrenaline rush in a Chrysler Pacifica. And the wildlife? We saw elk in camp, moose on a trail, and we didn't have to hike 10 miles to find them. Budget gets an 8, and here's why. We booked Moraine Park Campground for $70 for 2 nights, waking up with elk 50 feet from your tent and the Continental Divide filling your windshield. Estes Park is expensive. The simple swap is to camp inside the park. You save hundreds, and your kids remember elk in a camp way longer than a hotel pool. Here's where Rocky gets honest. Seclusion is a 4. That's the lowest score on this entire list. This park is crowded. Not Yellowstone crowded, actually crowded. The Bear Lake Corridor handles more visitors than some entire national parks. After the empty parking lots of Wind Cave and the wide open emptiness of Badlands, Rocky can feel very busy. You aren't getting a trail to yourself unless you hike well past where your 7-year-old is willing to go. Headache factor. This is an 8, and I want to be clear about what that means. The 8 is not because Rocky is headache free, it's because there is one massive headache. And if you know about it ahead of time, it's 100% solvable. Timed entry permits. Late May through mid-October, you cannot just show up. You need a reservation to enter during peak hours. Summer weekend slots sell out in minutes. They release in blocks. If you are not online the moment they drop, you are not getting into Bear Lake between 5 a.m. and 6 p.m. Be sure to set a calendar reminder and be online at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Book the Bear Lake Corridor specifically. That's where 80% of the family-friendly hikes are. And here's a bonus tip nobody mentions. If you enter before 5 a.m. or after 6 p.m., you don't need a reservation. Sunrise at Dream Lake with no permit? That's your cheat code. Rocky Mountain National Park at number 2. And honestly, if you're a family that loves hiking, it might be your number 1. The only park that beats it has one thing Rocky doesn't: variety. We've hiked through caves, stood on the edge of the Badlands, stared up at the Tetons, and nearly gotten charged by a moose at 10,000 feet. But the number 1 park on this list? It's the one that has everything. Geysers, bison jams, a super volcano under your feet, and a family of 6 who learned every lesson the hard way. Oh my gosh, so we got here just in time. Here it goes. Old Faithful. Yellowstone National Park. 44 out of 50. 6 points ahead of Rocky Mountain. 12 ahead of everything else. And honestly, it's not even close. There is a reason this was the world's first national park. There's a reason 4 million people come here every year. And there's a reason my kids talk about Yellowstone more than any trip we've ever taken. Kid-Friendliness is a 10, not a 9, a 10. Yellowstone is built for families in a way no other park is. Paved boardwalks through thermal basins, geysers that erupt on a schedule your 7-year-old can wait for. Old Faithful erupts every 90 minutes. That is a predictable, can't-miss payoff a kid can count down to. And the wildlife? Bison walk right past your car. Elk stare at you from the campground. Ruggedness gets a 9, not because Yellowstone lacks adventure, but because the best stuff is accessible. You can hike 15 miles into the backcountry. You can also see 80% of what makes Yellowstone incredible from a boardwalk or a pullout. Budget is a 9, and I made an entire video about this. We did Yellowstone for a fraction of what most families spend. The biggest savings? Camping outside the park, bringing your own food, buying the America the Beautiful Pass. I'll link to the full budget breakdown in the description. You can have a world-class Yellowstone experience without the world-class price tag. Seclusion gets a 6, and I know that surprises people. 4 million visitors a year. How does a park with the population of Los Angeles get a 6 in Seclusion? Because most visitors never leave the pavement. They hit Old Faithful, they hit Grand Prismatic, they get back in the car. Yellowstone is 2.2 million acres. It's bigger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined, and 95% of visitors stay on 5% of the park. Walk 1 mile down any trail that isn't a boardwalk and you will be alone. Not less crowded, alone. With bison, and thermal features nobody else is seeing. The Lamar Valley in the northeast corner? You might see more wolves than people. That's not an exaggeration. This is why Yellowstone's Seclusion is a 6, not a 3. The crowds are real, but the park is so big, you can escape them if you know where to go. Headache factor is a 10. Not because Yellowstone is headache-free, it's not. Yellowstone has every headache the other parks have: crowds, traffic, confusing logistics, seasonal closures, and unpredictable weather. The 10 is because we have solved every single one of them. We've made the budget video, the mistakes video, the what actually works with kids video. You can walk into Yellowstone with a plan that eliminates the crowds, saves you hundreds, and keeps your kids from ever asking, "Are we done yet?" The simple swap is to watch our Yellowstone playlist before you book a single thing. It is free. It took us multiple trips to figure this out, and it will save you more money and more headaches than any guidebook. Yellowstone is the best family national park in America. The crowds are worth it. The planning is worth it. The drive is worth it. And if you know where to go, you can still find a piece of it that feels like yours alone. So there you have it. Badlands, Wind Cave, Grand Teton, Rocky Mountain, Yellowstone. 5 parks, 4 boys, 1 very tired minivan. If this helped you plan your next trip, hit subscribe. I'm Kyle with Baum Adventures. We've got survival guides for every park on this list. We'll see you out there.
If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button.
For more adventure videos, go to our YouTube channel, Baum Adventures, where you can follow along on our journey.
Thanks for watching! See you next time!
So cool.